Okay, so Mr. Musk is wrong. No one's going to get fired for saying it, right? He's wrong. You can say it. It's not a Ponzi scheme. I'll say it for you. It's not a Ponzi scheme. It's not a Ponzi scheme. Okay, he's wrong. I know we're afraid to say it. And see, that's part of the problem. We're afraid to say that Elon Musk is wrong. That's what Mr. Frost was talking about when he says he hears crickets from my colleagues. We hear crickets from the witnesses because everyone is afraid when Elon says something, if it's patently false, we're afraid to say it's false.
Elon Musk is a billionaire baby, much like Donald Trump. He is a little petulant child who gets his little fifi hurt and then makes us all deal with the consequences. And it's when he is rightfully called out that he gets the most upset. I don't know if it's because maybe deep down inside he knows what a broken person he is, or maybe it's just because he's a big whiner and complainer like everyone else in MAGA. But when Elon Musk was absolutely crushed by comedian Bill Burr, who has just been ripping into billionaires lately, and I've been loving it. He had a different reaction than usual, but one that we can kind of expect, threatening him and going after him in an attempt to silence his speech. Yes, the free speech. Absolute is Elon Musk trying to shut him up. And Bill Burr responded in the most perfect way that we are going to get into. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me now. Before we can get into what Elon did first, we have to see it started, all of this. A little bit of a call out from Bill Burr right here.
Period. And then like a few years later, this guy sieged Heil twice.
Two of them.
Once in the front, if you missed it in the back. And it's just like, he still has a job. That guy still has a job. I don't understand those guys. And this isn't politically. It's just like, I don't understand why they're so upset with this country. It's like, you're billionaires. I think it's working for you. Like, why are you going and telling everybody, justify what you do? It's like, fucking justify what you do. That piece of shit car that you're making that the government financed. No?
But you know what you just said? You said that Elon still has a job. He's the richest man in the world. There's nothing they can do to him. And that's all he proved. There's nothing anybody can do to him by throwing up when he did that. Yeah. What do you take from him? He's not Kyrie Irving. He's not Kanye. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, but you keep, I don't know. Listen, I don't know how this shit works. I'm just saying that, if you said the wrong thing as a comedian, all of a sudden you lost your TV show.
But you're not the richest man in the world. If you was the richest comedian in the world, ever.
What I don't get is the amount of veterans that people in the armed services that died trying to stop Hitler, and then this guy comes in, and does that while being an immigrant too, which is kind of the whole thing. Just none of it like tracks how you can be the support the troops, America, love it or leave it, and then this guy comes in and gives a shout out to Hitler.
Makes no sense at all.
Yeah, it doesn't. So, I don't know, but then somehow that gets like politicized. I'm not trashing Republicans. All Republicans did not sieg Heil. That guy did. And I was just amazed that all liberals had was one day of outrage. And they're like, all right, I guess that didn't work. And then we just kind of move on.
Because they realize they can't do anything to him. Like, what do you do other than send out some angry tweets?
Who's the they? Besides people who eat almonds?
That idiot Elon Musk.
Oh.
That guy, like, he's going to, who evidently is a Nazi. Like, I just refuse to believe that it was an accidental 2-time sieg Heil. And he does it at a presidential inauguration. This is why I hate liberals. It's like liberals have no teeth whatsoever. They just go, oh my God, can you believe I'm getting out of the country? I'm just like, well, you're going to leave the country because of one guy with dyed hair plugs and a laminated face who makes a bad car and has an obsolete social media platform? You're going to leave this? Why doesn't he leave? Why isn't he stopped? What are we so afraid of this guy who can't fight his way out of a wet paper bag?
You can take him on.
Like, what is why do liberals just sit back and not, they have nothing?
What are you doing?
This.
Okay.
This. You got to speak up about it. You don't just go like, oh my God, what? Like, listen, first of all, it's like, I'm a stand-up comedian. It's not my friggin' job. I'm talking about like Democratic politicians. Where is their pushback? They're allegedly liberal. You see this guy do this thing. You know what the end result of this thing is, which all these neo-Nazis, not only are they stupid because they're neo-Nazis, they don't even look at what Hitler did. He ruined their country. And this idiot is going to try to lead us down that road?
First off, incredible call-outs from Bill Burr. Absolutely love it. And this is something Republicans have had so much success with, and I'm glad we are kind of getting some of these apolitical seeming figures. B.B. Burr is not talking about politics directly. It's not a stump speech. He's not on the House floor, right? But this is inherently political, something that Republicans have had a lot of success with. And we saw that play out with Donald Trump and his podcast tour during the election, talking to folks at Barstool or Neil or Logan and Jake Paul, comedians. That's why he went on those podcasts. Theo Von Joe Rogan is the perfect example of someone, a comedian himself, who seems apolitical. But inherently, he is so fly, pushing young men to the right. Bill Burr's got a large young male following. I've seen like probably almost every one of his specials, and this message resonates. People don't think he's talking about Democrats. People don't think he's talking about anything specific. He's just pushing a message that is right true. And Elon's not a fan of it, but what a shock that is. And so, as you'd expect, the biggest billionaire baby responded, as we can see right here. Bill Burr says Twitter flagged his account after he mocked Elon Musk heart-sending gesture. Bill Burr told his fans that Elon Musk is both an effing baby and just like Hitler, but I'd like to see him say that to Musk's face, mostly because he'll get banned if he tweets it. Musk gets a lot of flack for platforming Nazi propaganda, making Nazi salutes at political events, and attempting a hostile, fantastic takeover of the federal government. But according to the legendary rant comedian Burr, all the constant online criticism of Musk isn't nearly enough. Earlier this month, Burr went viral for angrily suggesting that the rabid dog billionaires who orchestrate all the division and inequality in America need to be put down, ruffling the feathers of Ben Shapiro and the pro-billionaire media who objected to such a general condemnation of the most successful members of our society. Well, the very next week, Burr got more specific after doing so. Burr roasted Musk and the half-hearted excuses Musk supporters made for what was unmistakably a Nazi salute. Burr says that an angry Elon Musk then struck back in the only way he knows, how he censored Burr on Twitter on last week's Monday morning podcast. Burr reported, "I'll tell you what was funny. I made fun of the Twitter guy for doing the SIG not only once, but twice. And I never look at my emails, but I was scrolling through my emails and said my Twitter account had been flagged. I didn't even tweet anymore." Burr said of his non-presence on Musk's platform, saying of the Twitter guy, "What a baby." Just like Hitler. A baby. So that's your free speech absolutist. That's your big free speech guy. And Elon Musk censoring people for condemning him for throwing up a sick. That's Elon. But that's not a surprise. Like, this is not shocking stuff. It's not breaking news that Elon doesn't actually stand on the principles he espouses. Like, that's the whole point of the MAGA movement. You say a bunch of BS and you go against it immediately, and then use your big media apparatus to cover it up. That's the rinse and repeat. That's what they do. That's cycle over and over and over again. Why, that's what we're expecting from them all the time. But that's also what we have to call out. And I talked about Rogan a little bit earlier. We saw Elon go on Joe Rogan's podcast and talk about his new favorite target, Social Security, a Ponzi scheme, he claims. And we saw a great call out of that from a Democrat right here.
Did fraud and improper payments start with Joe Biden? In his administration, was that the first time the government has experienced that?
That is not the first time that fraud was reported.
First time?
No.
First time?
No.
So we got to depoliticize this stuff, because all we're hearing is what happened in the last 4 years. In 2017, $140 billion of improper payments. That's inaccurate?
In 2024, we reported 162 billion.
No, hold on.
payments.
In 2017, 140 billion in improper payments. In 2018, 150 billion dollars of improper payments. In 2019, 174 billion of improper payments, and in 2020, 206 billion of improper payments. Those are GAO numbers. So let me just do some math. In the first Trump administration, there were $670 billion of improper payments. I'm not blaming him, but he is blaming Joe Biden, and so is Elon Musk, blaming for the improper payments for what happened in the 4 years of Joe Biden. My point is, Mr. Chairman, if we do want to solve this on a bipartisan basis, then we got to separate fact from fiction. We got to depoliticize it. $670 billion of improper payments and fraud, waste, and abuse in the first Trump administration. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
Isn't that correct?
I don't have any reason to doubt your math, sir.
Okay. Isn't that correct?
I believe so.
Perfect. Dispelling fact from fiction is important. And I want to drill down real quickly first on what my colleague from Florida, Mr. Frost, said. And I'm going to be even more direct because I think it's important. We'll just go down the line. So you gave an answer on whether Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. The answer is no, right? It's not a Ponzi scheme.
We have not reported that it's a Ponzi scheme.
Right. So it's not a Ponzi scheme.
I'm not aware that it's a Ponzi scheme.
Okay.
Agreed. Not
Okay. So Mr. Musk is wrong. No one's going to get fired for saying it, right? He's wrong. You can say it. It's not a Ponzi scheme. I'll say it for you. It's not a Ponzi scheme. It's not a Ponzi scheme. Okay. He's wrong. I know we're afraid to say it. And see, that's part of the problem. We're afraid to say that Elon Musk is wrong. That's what Mr. Frost was talking about when he says he hears crickets from my colleagues. We hear crickets from the witnesses because everyone is afraid when Elon says something, if it's patently false, we're afraid to say it's false.
Not a shock that the richest man in the history of the world isn't super psyched about Social Security and would much rather have all the money in the world be put into his pockets. Not a shock. But it might come as a surprise to people on Social Security and people who have been paying into it their whole lives and would like it around for their retirement, who maybe support Donald Trump. So let's make sure that message gets to them. That's what we're doing on the show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. Leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, you drop a blue heart in the comments. Until next time, I'll see you soon.